Okay, so I am prepping my hair. When you take out of braids, it is so important. A lot of people lose their hair during that first um, those moments, because number one, I understand the concept of a protective style, but we have turned that word from protected to neglected, and we did it subconsciously, because every time we get our hair done, we think that we're protecting our hair. But there is so many women, this is why I'm in business now, because I focus on rejuvenating the hair, um, that lose a lot of their hair coming in and out of these protective styles. And somewhere along the lines, we think that it is just a matter of taking the protective style out. And look at that. My hair looks really good. It's just a matter of taking that protective style out, right? And um, just getting a deep condition and a trim and putting it back in. But years and years are going by, and many people are losing their hair, and they're like, there is something wrong. And it kind of is. And we stop everything. We stop the braids, we stop the protective styles, we stop everything because we're afraid and we're trying to hold on to this hair. And then what tends to happen is, over time, we're like, I knew this was going to happen. You see this? My hair is colored. Oh my gosh. I got color in my hair. And I'm in a white robe. This is crazy. This is crazy. I literally was supposed to put the towel over me, but it's kind of too late. Well, listen. This is going to be the robe I use when I'm doing my hair. It should be black, right? Trying to be cute, trying to be aesthetically pleasing, and it ain't working. I knew that the black was going to shed, but not as much. Oh, you know what? You know what? You know what? I think what's happening is my hair that I had the braids in was colored black as well. And some of that is probably transferred onto the hair. But I do not want it to get, I'm sitting in white chairs right now. All right. So, back to what I was saying. For the most part, we're realizing that the hair needs a lot more than just a shampoo, deep condition, and protective style to thrive. Because there is truly a science to it all, right? And this is why I created my hair rejuvenation program and my hair rejuvenation products. Because all products is not created equally. Because shampooing and conditioner and a leave-in, I always say start with that so I can get you in a rhythm. But they all are titles. They're all categories to a deeper, basically to what the hair needs, right? So when you're shampooing your shampoo can do a couple of different things. But every head of hair needs to be cleansed. It needs to be hydrated. It needs to be strengthened. Sometimes, most of the time, in the beginning, it needs to be repaired. Right? And so, what happens over time is that you're not addressing all of those points. Because when you're in these so-called protective styles, we are not really cleansing our hair and scalp on a regular basis, right? So I get the concept of where we came from when it came to protective styles. It was really about low manipulation, right? Again, this came from, ooh, this is a disaster. This is a disaster. But It came from low manipulation. But see, low manipulation is only like one ingredient to all these different ingredients that we need for our hair to thrive. Again, like I said, I'm going to repeat it. The hair needs to be cleansed. It needs to be hydrated. It needs to be strengthened. It needs to be protected. And then you go into the styles. So now we are literally, we have one or two. We have low manipulation, and then we go into a style. And then we think that style is enough. But at what point did you address, that's not bad. It's all the hair that came out for detangling. That's it. That's it. At what point did we, did you hydrate your hair? What point did you strengthen your hair? You didn't strengthen your hair only by sitting under the dryer with a deep conditioner with a protein treatment in. I wish it was that easy. If it was that easy, everybody's hair would be thriving right now, right? If it was that easy, everybody's hair would be thriving right now. So my goal is not to kind of overwhelm you with all the science guru stuff. I kind of did all of that for you when I created my line, which is called Prescription, which is literally prescription for your hair. You're just going to use it over and over again. It's like the doctor gives you a prescription for something. You're not just using it 1 or 2 times unless it was prescribed that way, but you got to use it over and over again so that you can get the results that you're looking for. And so the results that I am looking for is my hair to retain length and to be healthy. So another misconception that I see a lot is that people are retaining length, but it's not healthy length. They come to somebody like me when I used to accept it, when I used to do silk presses. I don't do that any longer. When you are a private client with me, you do get a silk press, right? It's part of your services that you can choose. But if you're just coming in for just an outside, what you call it, as an outside client, you can't book me for just a silk press. But I remember there was a time in which we used to do that. We used to literally go to the salon and say, let me go get me a length check real quick. And then you get your hair soaked out and you be like, oh, just trim the little ends because my hair is growing. But what you're not realizing is that you did not do the work. Like, that hair is not healthy from root to tip. So when I do the silk press and it frizzes up, that's telltale signs that that hair needs something more. And so that's kind of how I came up with the concept of healthy hair rejuvenation. Is that the hair needs to be rejuvenated. There's a scientific, I'm going to throw some scientific words just to give you an aha moment, right? There's a cuticle layer. There's a cortex layer. We're familiar with the word cuticle, right? The cuticle can be chipped. That means it's beyond repair. And so now we have rejuvenation and hairstyling products that can literally go in and help that cuticle layer look like it's healthy, but we didn't actually get it healthy. And so what happens is the routine that we have, we constantly are chipping away at the cuticle layer. When you chip away at the cuticle layer, that your hair is not going to be flowy, it's not going to be bouncy, it's not going to be, as silky as you see some of my clients' hair. So the true goal is to get that healthy hair from root to tip. Sometimes that's zone 1. Zone 2 is this hair in here. And so our habits start showing up in our hair. And so we get braids with synthetic hair that cuts and it creates little divots within the cuticle layer. We don't wash our hair as often. We don't get our hair hydrated or smooth or treated as often. And the low manipulation is go into a little bit of neglect. And when the hair is neglected too long, the hair starts dehydrating from the inside out. So now you have cuticle erosion from inside the hair strand, right? And so when you have that cuticle erosion coming from inside that hair strand, it makes that hair weak. And then there's fragile points along that hair strand and the hair begins to pop. We're calling them split ends. But split ends is way more than the splits that you see. So you're like, oh, trim this. but your split might be all the way up to here. And so I see that concept of people like, oh, that person is scissor happy. And it's like, you came to me and all you see, because you're seeing with your eye and not a trained eye, you don't see that your cuticle layer has all these, it's eroded, it's, it's missing, it's, it's tethered, it's chipped. You don't see that. And so what you see is just, oh, I got length. And then somehow you expect that length to equate to that silky, flowy hair. Now, there is amazing products on the market. You have like silicones and heavy products and greases, and that's going to give you that false pretense that your hair can perform the right way. But it's only cosmetic. That's like tricking somebody. You got a waist trainer on and you claiming you've been in the gym, right? That's like, what else is I compare that to? You putting makeup on, right? Somebody be like, oh my gosh, you got clear skin, but you got makeup on. That's what happens when we're styling hair. But when you see the people who come out of my program and you see my hair, my client's hair, you actually see that that hair is looking different, it's moving different, it's flowing different, and you're trying to chase my blow dryer, my flat iron, what shampoo, what conditioner. It's literally a whole protocol and prescription I put together to get those looks. So just some, food for thought. Again, this pretty thing is ruined. It's so ruined. Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy work. But I kind of knew this was going to happen. Trying to be cute, trying to do all the aesthetic stuff, and it ain't working. It ain't working. It ain't working. All right, let me go ahead and wash this hair.